Hello everyone, welcome to a new episode of Sport Talk. I am your host Evan, and today I'm joined by John and Zach. And today we are going to be talking about the NFL Wildcard weekend. But before we get into that, follow us on YouTube at Sport Talk and Instagram and TikTok at sport.talkpodcast. So we'll just get right into this with the first game of the weekend, which was the Bengals-Raiders. The 4 and 5 seeded in the AFC, and the Bengals came up on top 26-19. So what is your guys' feedback from that game, Zach?
I think it was a pretty good game. I think the Bengals were destroying them in the first half, and then they came out a little sluggish in the second half. Raiders came back. Well, I guess they lost Trey Hendrickson, too, which was a pretty big hit, and Ogunjobi. That's going to be... I feel like that's going to be big for the next round. They need to have those guys.
That's going to be huge for the next round. And also the Raiders, they just came out super flat, and the Bengals did not take as many opportunities in the red zone as they should have because they kept kicking field goals, and I felt like they could have gone for it on fourth down and maybe punched it into the end zone. So I think they should have been a little bit more aggressive.
I agree. Because, see, my thing about that is if you get the ball, inside the 15, inside the 10, especially inside the 10, if you go for it on fourth down, even if you don't get it, that still gives the other team really bad field position.
That's like 90 yards they have to drive the ball down the field to score.
So, I think there are certain times when a field goal is necessary. Like, you have
to put points on the board somehow.
Yeah.
But
if
the
game's on the line,
it's a 4-point swing.
Yeah. If the game's on the line, I think you kick it, obviously.
Yeah.
But, I just feel like I think the Bengals could have been a little more aggressive. Yeah, I think in the first half, the field goals they kicked were acceptable, though.
Yeah.
I think, they took a real early lead there. So, they immediately went up 7-0, and then I think, if I remember correctly, they got a turnover and went down and just kicked the field goal. I think that's acceptable, but I don't know. I just feel like in the third quarter, the Bengals were very flat. Yeah. And they had several red zone chances, and they just kicked field goals. And, the Raiders were starting to make a comeback, and I'm thinking, if you guys keep kicking field goals, they're going to win this game. You got to score points.
The sad thing is the Raiders also had a historically bad red zone defense. They let in touchdowns 81% of the time.
Yeah, I think
81%.
I think they were the worst since what was the stat? It was the worst since 1980 something.
Yeah. And the Bengals only scored 2 touchdowns.
The whole game?
Yes.
Yeah, Tyler Boyd had one, and then C.J. Uzomah had
the
first one of the game. Yeah, that I think offensively that was not really a bright game.
It wasn't the best.
It wasn't a great offensive showing.
They just choked,
especially coming off of the last 2 weeks that the Bengals had, where they literally just put up so many points.
Yeah,
and Burrow had phenomenal games.
Well, I think Burrow had
a good game.
He still had a good game. I think Burrow. He wasn't amazing this game, but I think he
did what he had to do.
Yeah, he did what he did what he had to do, and they got the win. It wasn't an ugly win. It was an ugly win. It was not a pretty win.
Mm-hmm. Our defense won the game. The defense won the Bengals the game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also think...
Well, yeah, they had the pick at the end of the game.
The pick at the end of the game won us the game.
That guy is a Cincinnati legend.
Yeah, he's
done... I think he's been, average the whole season, but he's done nothing incredible.
But he got that darn pick.
He just got that pick on the goal line. First playoff win in 31 years. He is now a legend.
Yes.
Just for that one play.
Yeah.
I think, most of the reason why the Bengals didn't have as effective of a offensive game is because of Max Crosby. Because he was...
Well, yeah, they put
him on Isaiah Prince, which is obviously a mismatch.
Isaiah Prince the Raiders is the worst lineman in the NFL.
Yeah.
And you put him on the best edge rusher in the
NFL.
One
of the best edge rushers.
I say he could be the best.
I'd say he's one of the best. I wouldn't put him at the best.
Okay.
Well, here's what's
there's a short list of people who are better than him.
Yeah.
There's a very short list. He's top 5 at least.
What's fascinating is the Raiders... They're number 1 in quarterback pressure without blitzing. So they don't call many blitzes, but their line is just so good that they can still get pressure.
Their D-line is ridiculous.
Yeah,
on both sides of the ball.
The thing that I noticed, I can't remember who it was. The guys, the talk show guys that talk before the game.
Yeah.
They were talking about the Raiders defense the first time they played the Bengals and how they didn't really ever blitz, but they played like off man and had like guys deep and stuff, and the Bengals just couldn't really. Well, okay, what they did was they took away the deep ball, which I think is what you need to do against the Bengals. Honestly, I mean, if you take away Jamar Chase's deep like 40, 50-yard completions, make him go down the field on short completions, and that's what the Raiders did. I mean. The Bengals beat them both times, but I mean, at least they didn't beat them deep.
They kept that too high shell.
Yeah,
and they didn't let anybody deeper than that, and that's
or
kind
even
of
just one high. Honestly, if they play one high and just off man like that. I mean, it's still going to be tough to beat them deep.
It's going to be tough to beat them deep, but everything underneath is going to be
open, which is what they game planned for, and the Bengals took advantage of that both times they played them. I mean, that's just good play by the Bengals. But I will say, though, that the Raiders on the offensive end really shot themselves in the foot for most of the game.
They
had multiple penalties.
Lots of holding calls.
Holdings, bad throws, miscommunications, just a bunch of stupid stuff.
Other than Isaiah Prince, Alex Leatherwood might be the worst lineman in the NFL.
That was like one of the biggest reaches I've ever seen. That was a aggressively bad reach on the Raiders' part.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe. I was expecting. I was talking to one of my buddies about the draft this year, and he was talking about that Leatherwood guy, and he was saying like, yeah, I mean, I think the Bengals can probably get him in like the third round, and that'd be a solid pick. Take Jamar first, and then we can get this Leatherwood guy who's solid.
Yeah,
we can get him in a later round. So that's what I was expecting to happen. And
then the Raiders take him in the first
round.
And everyone's like, he's a stretched third rounder.
Yeah. And I mean, he would have been a third day pick. I feel like for most teams.
And me being a Raiders fan, I was extremely pissed at it.
That was ridiculous.
I was extremely mad about it because he was like a bad lineman in college. Yeah. He wasn't even the best lineman on his team, and we drafted him in the first round.
It was not a good
There
pick.
was multiple linemen that were better that you could have gotten like later.
Oh, yeah. That was a bad pick.
I know.
I mean, that's just what I was saying, though. I mean, like, the Raiders, every time they got momentum in that game, they shot themselves in the foot with a... No, I mean, okay. I think the Bengals got the job done. I think they did what they had to do. They did not... I don't think they played overly well, to be honest.
They didn't look how they looked against the Ravens and the Chiefs.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I don't think they looked like they played overly well. Like I said, they like you said, they did not play like they did against the Chiefs. That was not the same Bengals team. But they played good enough to get the job done. Mm-hmm. They played good enough to get the win. They broke the streak, which was really cool to see. Mm-hmm. They got the job done. It was not a pretty win though. I don't think they played very well.
They did
I think. They didn't play to their potential. I think they played good enough, but it was not to their potential. The Raiders offensively were just not good.
Yeah.
I mean, every time they got a promising drive down the field, it was called right back with holding. And
yeah, it was like a holding penalty, a false start. Like they get momentum going, it'd be a false start. Or something stupid like that.
Exactly.
But it was mainly with their offensive line.
Yeah.
It was all with the offensive line.
Yeah, no.
It was all of it was the offense. Okay, except for earlier in the game when they returned the kick and the guy ran out of bounds at the 2.
Yeah, that was just stupid. That was
hilarious.
This man is a professional football player. I don't know what
he's a professional football player. He thinks it's a great idea to run out of bounds at the 2-yard line.
I don't know what he was thinking at all. I mean, that was just terrible on his part. But besides that, pretty much everything that went bad for him was the offensive line.
That is why you do not do narcotics.
Yeah.
But looking at the stats, like Derek Carr, he was 29 for 54 with 310 yards, 1 touchdown, and interception, which is he had the yards, but the completion percentage.
That completion percentage is really bad.
And Josh Jacobs couldn't really get it going. He had 13 carries for 83 yards, which is better than Mixon, but still not great.
Well, Mixon had COVID.
Yeah,
I mean, he was probably just recovering from COVID.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't think it really seemed like it was much in the Bengals' game plan to run the ball.
I don't think it was.
It was like right out of the gate, they were chucking.
Well, because the
Raiders have it's
kind of hard to
that affected his stats.
It's hard to run the ball when the Raiders have one of the best D lines overall.
Yeah.
Honestly, though, I think it's probably easier to run the ball at Max Crosby than it would be to pass protect him.
Yeah, that's true.
But they made it.
I mean, especially with Isaiah Prince on him. I mean, this guy is bad.
Like I think we should have double teamed Max Crosby the whole game.
Yeah. See, that's what I was saying. I was like, the Bengals, like they I think it would almost be a good idea for them to. I mean, I don't know about Mixon because he was kind of sluggish and stuff. Maybe put P. Ryan back there and just have
They also had-
put,
Or even
put,
Evans.
put him
Even
to the side and
having
get
Evans a little
extra
bit.
like pass protection and stuff. 'cause
Yeah.
Isaiah Prince was just not getting it done against.
Or even
Crosby.
take out a running back, add in an extra tight end to help block for us.
They did do that.
Yeah.
They had Uzama help him a little bit.
which is
Yeah.
good. I think that was good. Because Crosby didn't just destroy the game. Like I will say, against the Chargers, he took over that game.
Yeah.
he took over.
He
that
won them the
Chargers game.
Chargers game.
He took over that game.
Yeah.
He did not do that against the Bengals, but he definitely was disruptive
100%.
enough.
There was one play where I saw that the defensive coordinator, he drew up like the perfect defense on this one play. So
The
basically,
defensive coordinator for the Raiders or
the
Bengals?
Raiders.
Okay.
So the D tackle basically pushed our right guard into Isaiah Prince, and then Crosby just came around, had a wide open hole, and just sacked
Crosby
Joe
kind of
Burrow.
looped in.
Yeah,
Yeah, he looped in completely untouched.
That was the only
so-
time that I felt like I don't really think Joe Burrow really got pressured like an insane amount.
No, I don't think he did. Honestly,
I think they did a decent job of protecting him.
Yeah, I mean, there was a couple times when he was pressured.
It could have
but
been
I think the Bengals did a far better job at
Than I
keeping-
I was
Expected.
expecting a
Yes.
lot worse. I was
They
expecting
did-
a lot worse for the Bengals.
They did a far better job at keeping Crosby in check and just protecting Burrow than I thought they were going to do. I mean, they did a lot better at that. I was expecting Crosby to have a day.
Yeah.
But
I mean, he's had a day like literally every game.
well, and I was saying that before the game too. I was saying if the Bengals can block Crosby and they can win the offensive line, they're going to win the game.
Yeah, if the Bengals win on both sides of the football in the trenches, they're going to win every single game they play.
I think that's most teams,
Yeah.
honestly.
Well, that's most teams, but especially with the Bengals because they have the best weapons in the NFL overall.
I think I would put the Bengals at least. I don't know.
That
I don't want to sound
Best
I don't
good-
want to sound outrageous.
Yeah, they
but
have-
I would put the Bengals at least 3 on the list of like the best weapons in the league.
who would be
At
better
least
though?
3. Bucks, a healthy Bucks,
Okay, healthy Bucks, and then
a healthy Bucks, and then
they're top 3. Yeah,
Chiefs? No.
No,
Chiefs.
the Chiefs really the
They just
Chiefs.
have Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, they have
Chiefs-
Hill and Kelsey. I mean,
and
they're,
they have a couple
other
guys that
are
they have a couple dudes that can make plays just because they're fast.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
Patrick
they-
Mahomes has like 30 seconds in the pocket.
Yeah, they got some guys that are good, but I think overall the Chiefs really just have Hill and Kelsey. I think the Bengals would almost be 2 with
Yeah.
the best like skill weapons in the league. I mean,
yeah,
and-
healthy Bucks. I think is a
And
little bit
right now they made me 1. Like I'm looking at the bracket here and like, I mean,
of the teams left.
of not even the teams left of the teams that made the playoffs, they might have the best. I
They might have the
that's-
best skill
Chiefs-
positions.
Chiefs, we already talked about that. Steelers, no.
The Bills don't have.
Okay, Bills.
Bills?
Dawson Knox, Stephon Diggs. Which I guess that's the same as the Chiefs, though. Right?
Yeah.
Like one receiver.
Okay, but they only have like really two main weapons.
Yeah.
It's just they have Josh
Patriots-
Allen throwing the quarterback.
Yeah, Patriots
throwing
don't.
the ball.
I think the Bengals might, honestly. If the Bucks were healthy, the Bucks would have the best, but I think the Bengals might have the best array of weapons.
Bengals do.
They fixed the line, man. They're going to be nasty.
They're going to be sweet.
Yeah. I mean, Jamar Chase, like yesterday he didn't have like a crazy game, but he had a quiet like
Ooh, I would
nine receptions for
I was
116
gonna say,
yards.
I was going to say, I think he
But
lit
I
it
didn't.
up pretty good.
It wasn't like it didn't feel like he was dominating.
It didn't-
okay,
it
but
didn't-
but he was making.
I mean,
he
that's
was
because
making plays.
Okay, but that's just because we're used to seeing him light up the Ravens and light up the Chiefs. We got used to that. But like we used to be excited about him like getting like 160 yards for 9 receptions.
That's an insane statistic day.
Yes.
That's a good
That
point.
is an insane day. He had
But-
9 catches for 160
But like
yards.
I feel like nobody's talking about it because every other team he's just gone even more ridiculous.
Well,
than that.
I think nobody's really. I think like you said, it was more of a quiet day just because he didn't score.
Yeah,
I think
just-
if he gets in the end zone, that is a even more ridiculous.
then,
thing.
yeah, we're
but I mean,
talking about
I would say he lit it up from the start. I mean, literally,
he dropped that one pass the first play of the game.
First play of the game, he dropped it. Second play of the game, he caught it, and he went on to catch like 9 straight passes.
Yeah.
I mean, like on the opening drive, he caught like 4 passes on the opening drive. He went all the way down the field.
Yeah.
Like, they threw to him every time on the opening drive.
Our game plan was get the ball from Joe to Jamar.
And they...
Not a bad game plan.
Which
Yeah,
I think...
Their game plan, yeah.
I think it was kind of cool what they did is they started running him on jet sweeps.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
did that twice. I thought that's pretty cool.
To get
because,
up, and then they ran it to Max Crosby's side.
Yeah, he
to
rushed
get
for
around,
23
to get around
yards.
Max Crosby.
Jamar Chase is the fastest player on that team. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I
might
think,
as well
I think
get
it's a
your
good
speed
idea
to
to
the
get
outside.
get him the ball on jets and
He
tosses
rushed
and
for
stuff.
23 yards on 3 attempts.
Yeah, I mean, I think Jamar Chase had a really good game.
He did.
I mean, he had some clutch catches. I mean, he just I think him and Burrow on that like back shoulder fade is just nasty.
I don't think there's anybody. I don't think there's anybody in the league that can guard Joe to Jamar.
No, but I will say though, the only duo in the NFL that is better than that duo, I think right now, is obviously Rodgers and Adams. Rodgers and Adams is unbelievable.
They're the gold standard right now. They're the gold standard.
They've been the gold standard for a while. Watching those guys play together is just, I mean, it is unbelievable.
It's a work of art.
It really is.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Joe and Jamar are second to them, which is saying a lot as they're both rookie and second year player.
Yeah.
But
they're going to be fun watching in the years to come.
Especially if they fix the line.
Yeah. Yeah. They fix that darn offensive line and get rid of Isaiah Prince.
That guy.
Hopefully they address that.
Yeah.
One player I was a little disappointed with was T. Higgins. He had lots of drops, and he only had 1 catch for 10 yards. Granted, they didn't throw him the ball very much, but when 3 or 4 times they did, there were catches that we've been used to him making, and he just didn't make.
Yeah, I think he had 2 drops and 2 catches for like 26 yards or something.
1 catch.
One catch for 20 yards?
For 10 yards.
10 yards?
1 catch for 10 yards the whole game.
I know he had 2 drops.
That is extremely disappointing for T. Higgins.
Especially for a second receiver.
Hey, he was playing on a hurt foot.
Okay,
that is true.
Yeah,
okay, but still, that is very disappointing for their number 2 receiver.
I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's one game.
I'm not worried about T. Higgins.
If he does get that
T. Higgins has shown over the past 2 years what he can do, and he is a absolute freak.
Yeah.
The guy's like 6'5". He is a freak athlete. I am not worried about him at all. And honestly, I as I watched the Bengals throughout the year, I think T. Higgins is probably. I don't know.
He could be a wide receiver 1 at a lot of teams.
He would be a wide receiver 1 on a lot of teams. I'm just saying.
But the fact that we're talking about him being disappointing as a number 2 receiver,
I think Tyler Boyd is the most reliable receiver on the Bengals team. I feel like if you throw to Tyler Boyd, he's going to catch it.
He's reliable. I mean, he's going to get open.
Reliable.
Yeah. I think T. Higgins is
very
close to that, though.
He just doesn't have that freak athleticism like T. Higgins and Jamar does. That's why nobody talks about it.
T. Higgins doesn't drop passes, though. I mean, T. Higgins is a stud.
Yeah.
I'm not concerned about him having 2 drops. I'm not concerned about that.
I mean, 2 drops is a good day for a lot of receivers.
2 drops is not ideal, but I'm not worried about it.
It's still a good day if you're only dropping 2.
Yeah, well, I mean, he didn't have catches
but still.
to make a good day. But I don't care about 2 drops.
Yeah.
He's proved what he can do. I don't care about that.
Yeah, if somebody has
he's going to bounce back. He's going to heal that foot up, and he's going to be
The dude had 1 rough day.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I think Tyler Boyd, though, he's impressive, man. I think he is one of the most underrated players in the league. I mean, he really is all reliable. Yeah. I think, if you got to have a first down, and he's going to catch the ball if you throw it to him.
Yeah.
I think my feeling is Joe to Jamar. I think Jamar Chase is probably the most clutch receiver on their team. I mean, he just makes big plays and big moments. I mean, against the Chiefs, 3rd and 27, he makes the catch. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think Jamar Chase is the clutchest player on the team, but I think Tyler Boyd is definitely
if you need 5 to 10 yards, Tyler Boyd's going to get you that, no question.
The guy. Tyler Boyd is the most reliable receiver on that team. I think he is very underrated.
Yeah. I mean, he's like the veteran guy, but he's still a very young.
He's not even a veteran. He's only played 4 years.
I know. But the thing is, he's a veteran
in our locker room.
He's a veteran in the Bengals locker room. Yes,
he's a veteran in the Bengals locker room, which is crazy because he's only in his 4th year.
He's in his 5th year.
5th year.
Yeah. He is. Yeah, he's young. He's 5th year player. But yeah, that just shows that the Bengals have a lot of young promise because him being the oldest and most veteran player in the locker room, and he's only played 5 years. I mean, that's good for the Bengals, you know.
Yeah, they're really building like a winning culture in Cincinnati, which is very fun to watch.
It's nice to see, after them having so many rough seasons and stuff. I mean, and that would be
ending the 30
I would be happy to see the Jags be successful. I mean, they've just had rough years, and I don't know. The only team that I'm okay with them being sucky and terrible is the Steelers.
Yes.
Every other team, when they're terrible and they get it turned around, I'm like,
the
Steelers. It's nice to see that.
The Steelers are statistically, other than the Dallas Cowboys, the most hated team in the NFL.
Why does everyone hate the Cowboys? I don't mind them.
It's not the Cowboys themselves; it's the Cowboys fans.
Jerry Jones.
It's Jerry Jones, and then the annoying Cowboys fans because every year is going to be their year.
Yeah, Cowboys fans are pretty annoying, but you can say the same for Ohio State fans.
That is true.
Most people do say that.
Most people do say that about Ohio State fans. Yeah.
One of the biggest headlines that came out of that Bengals and Raiders game was some of the calls that the refs made. There was that one where Joe Burrow scrambled right, made a heck of a throw to Tyler Boyd, but the ref blew the whistle, and people argued that the play should be dead by rule, blah blah blah. And then there was a couple other ones that were questionable. Do you think that the throw that Burrow made should not have counted?
I mean, I think it should have counted. I don't know why they blew the whistle.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There
why
was
they
no
blew the
reason
whistle.
for them to blow the whistle.
Yeah, there was literally no reason for them to blow. I mean, he was clearly in bounds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the replay showed that he was in bounds the whole time, and he made the throw, so therefore the whistle should never have been blown.
Yeah, I don't know why they blew the whistle at all. I mean, that was dumb.
Yeah.
I mean...
And then there were
Raiders. Raiders fans would complain, "Oh, he blew the whistle. The play should have been dead." Which the play's dead. The play's dead when you blow the whistle. But why did he? There was no reason to blow the whistle. I mean, the play was still going on.
But if a ref breathes too hard, he's blowing the whistle. You know what I mean? So that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is that it's not like he blew the whistle before Burrow threw it and then he just continued to play. Now that would have been a little iffy. He blew the whistle as Tyler Boyd was catching it in the end zone.
Yeah.
I don't know what you want him to do. Purposely drop the ball because the whistle was blown?
I know. He was debating in his head for way too long whether Joe Burrow was in bounds or out of bounds.
Yeah, that's bad on the ref's part. I mean, if you think he's out of bounds, blow the whistle immediately.
Instead of thinking, oh, is he in or out? Because you can review the play and they can throw a challenge flag for that reason. You got to make a decision just like that.
Even if it's the wrong decision, it has to be a quick decision.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the heck that was. He blew the whistle as Tyler Boyd was catching
it in the end zone. So that
I don't know
that
what
was
that
just
was.
stupid by the refs' part.
Yeah, I don't think those refs were very good refs.
Yeah.
Well, those refs are no longer reffing in any more playoff games.
I think that's fair.
No,
I think a lot of the calls they threw on holdings and stuff were fair though. I mean, the Raiders.
I think overall they did a decent job.
I really had no complaint with them overall. I'm just saying that I know
like that one. Other than that one,
bad.
Other than that one incident, they were solid all day.
I really didn't have any major complaints with them. I will say the other one that stuck out to me that just seems unfair to me is the pass interference they call, or not pass interference, the roughing the passer they called on Derek Carr when the guy kind of nudged him.
Oh yeah,
and then
that was a.
They call.
There was barely enough to call it.
There was really nothing there to call, but they called it anyways.
It was on a fine print, on a technicality that they called it.
And yet earlier in the game, Joe Burrow gets just walloped, and they don't call it. That's not fair. If you're gonna call that against Derek Carr, you got to call it both ways. I know. I mean,
it's
roughing the passer calls are one of the hardest calls I think in football because
they can go either way, and it's such a fine line.
I agree.
You can smack a quarterback and it's not called, but you can barely touch him, and for some reason it's called. Yeah. It's if the ref sees it and if they're that's aggressive or not.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough call. I just think if you're gonna call it. If you're gonna call it badly, if you're gonna throw it on every little touch, call it both ways.
Yeah.
If you're gonna throw it over the barely little touch, then you better throw it for both teams that way. Mm-hmm. And if you're not gonna call it, you're only gonna call it for massive hits, then you gotta call that both ways too.
Yeah.
I just think that was
low
unfair.
hits, high hits. It doesn't matter. It's just
Mm-hmm.
you gotta have a standard that you're gonna call it all game.
Exactly, and a lot of times refs don't meet that standard. They throw it one way. I mean, Tom Brady gets touched.
It's just like in baseball. You have to have the same strike zone for every player.
Yeah, exactly. I just that was the only other thing besides whistle blow that kind of caught me as, that's kind of a bad call. It's unfair. But
Really?
besides that,
Really, I thought the refs were okay the whole game. Like, I had no, big complaints, these refs are terrible. They need to be fired immediately, other than that one thing.
Yeah, there were a couple that were questionable.
yeah. I mean, I feel like it almost is a little bit of an overreaction to have them never work in the playoffs again. I mean,
Well, it's not again. It's this year.
I mean, I guess that makes sense.
So they are not scheduled to ref any more games this year.
I just didn't think they were that bad.
They weren't
I mean,
atrocious.
I know Raiders fans would disagree.
Yeah,
but
Raiders fans will disagree.
I mean, me being a Raiders fan and seeing that, I really did not see, enough to be like, oh, the refs, screwed us out of the game. That's how, I mean...
Salty Raiders fans.
Yeah, salty Raiders fans.
Yeah.
I enjoyed watching the game.
No, that was probably
I thought it was a solid
I thought that was
game.
the best game of the weekend.
No.
It was the closest.
Closest. That, and I really enjoyed watching the Cowboys game, too.
Well, that's because the Cowboys because they lost.
Yeah.
I knew they would.
Yeah.
Well, so the second game on that Saturday was the Bills-Patriots, and we watched the first quarter, and then I just stopped watching it because it was just such a blowout.
I checked the score on my phone, and I didn't even turn it on.
Yeah, it was bad. But so if you didn't watch it, the Bills won 47-17, and that's probably one of the most embarrassing losses that Bill Belichick has had in the playoffs. I would think.
Nothing could be worse for Belichick.
No.
I mean, I think
terrible.
That's almost grounds to fire a coach if he wasn't Bill Belichick.
Yeah,
If Zach Taylor would have had that loss, he would be out of Cincinnati.
Do you think so?
yeah.
Almost.
He was. People didn't believe in him, but now they do.
I think people do now, though.
Yeah, he got. I think he got extended.
I don't know if I'm ready to fire a coach out. I mean, yeah, it's a terrible loss, but one.
Okay, but they
season
did.
in the
Okay, they did
playoffs.
make the. I mean, they had a good enough season to
made
make the
the
playoffs.
playoffs, yeah.
So
Everybody
that's
said
not
that the
really-
Patriots were going to breeze through to the Super Bowl.
Oh, I know. I mean, it was
that did not happen.
personally, I was happy to see it.
Yeah, no, I think the whole world was happy.
I think the whole world was happy to see the Patriots fail miserably.
Yeah, I mean, this has been.
They had
this wild card weekend has been insane.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, when was the last time you could say the Patriots got blown out and the Bengals won?
Yeah,
Never.
It was
never.
probably the 80s when that happened.
Yeah. I don't know. I really can't say much about the Bills-Patriots game. I watched the first
not
quarter, and
much
that was
to
it.
say.
It was boring as crap.
mean,
Josh Allen, the Bills' offense were off the charts.
And then the defense for the Bills was just insane. And the Bills' defense is one of the most scary in the NFL because they don't have that standout guy that's just going to be like the Raiders had Max Crosby, the guy you're game playing around.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas every player on the Bills' defense is very solid and can make a play at any moment.
I would agree with that, but I would say that Micah Hyde is
Micah Hyde is a guy.
Yeah, Micah
But,
Hyde is
He's good.
he's a stud.
Okay.
But they did lose Trey White, who is
That was a
their
big
guy.
hit. That was a big hit too.
Yeah.
But still, they're 100% the most scary defense in
I agree
the
with that,
playoffs this year, and they showed that because they had
Bills are the most scary team in the NFL.
potentially.
They might be
if they
now.
play like they did this last Saturday, then
If they play like they did against the Patriots, they will be in the Super Bowl.
They will walk to the Super Bowl if they play like that.
Yeah.
listen to
Uncontested.
yeah. So this is
I mean, their offense literally played the perfect game. 0 punts, 0 field goals. They scored a touchdown every time they had the ball,
That is ridiculous.
and they never
that was against the top 5 defense.
And they
against a top 5 defense in the lead led by Matthew Judon who's on there too.
and they converted on every fourth down.
That
No
is
punts,
ridiculous.
no field goals. Every fourth down they converted,
and no fumbles lost.
and no fumbles or picks. They
That is
literally
the
played the perfect
offensive game.
Also, they have the number 1 ranked passing defense, and they have a top 10, I think, rushing defense.
Yeah,
They're good.
they're the scariest team in the NFL.
I think if they have a very good chance.
If you
of
see
going
the
to Super
Chiefs
Bowl.
on your playoff schedule, you better be game planning your butt off right now.
Yeah,
It's
I think that the Bills Chiefs will be a
That'll be a
great
really good
game.
Bills
I think that's
Chiefs-
gonna be a great game.
yeah. Well, if the Chiefs offense plays like they did against the Steelers,
I think that is going to be a great game.
Yeah.
I think there's a really good chance that the winner of that game goes to the Super Bowl. Honestly,
Yeah,
though.
probably.
yeah.
I think those are. I mean, I don't know. The Bengals if they show up, I think they can beat almost anyone in the league. Honestly, if they show up and play their best game, they can beat almost anyone in the league. But I still just think the Bills, that performance was like that almost unheard of.
Yeah,
I mean
that is unheard of,
especially against the Patriots. I
thought a perfect game like that was impossible.
Yeah, I expected, let alone against Belichick. I expected much more against the Patriots.
Against a great defensive team led by Bill Belichick.
I expected much more than that. That's why I was going to the playoffs thinking like I'm afraid to play the Patriots. I mean, I know they don't have Brady or anything, but I mean their defense is good, and Bill Belichick in the playoffs, but. I mean, I expected much more than that. I was
expecting a very good game.
I was too.
I was expecting like 21 to like 23 or something.
I was expecting the Bills to win.
Yeah,
but I was expecting it to be close and to be a good game. That was just.
I think my prediction was 24-21. Bills win. Yeah, and then
I think that would have been a reasonable prediction.
Yeah, it is a reasonable prediction.
Yeah.
It's just crazy what happened.
Bills' offense
ridiculous.
Was, all around they were off the charts.
Dawson Knox, Stephon Diggs,
all three
even Singletary did amazing.
Yeah, he had 81 yards
obviously.
for 2 touchdowns.
Yeah,
and Josh Allen threw for 21 for 25, so he had 4 incompletions.
Yeah,
only 4 incompletions.
308 yards, 5 touchdowns, 0 interceptions.
He threw more touchdowns than he threw incompletions in a game.
That's
ridiculous. And then the Bills haven't had any source of running game the entire season, and then their running back this game has 81 yards and 2 touchdowns. And I think
they're figuring out the run game too, which is also
a little
scary.
bit, yeah.
Nasty.
They're starting to figure out the running game, which is also very scary for anyone who has.
Yeah, the past couple weeks, Singletary's been playing well.
Yeah,
they've been running the ball.
I think one of the reasons that the Patriots were so disappointing in this game was just because of the lack of talent on the offensive side. Other than
I said that earlier.
I know. But Mac Jones, he was 24 for 38 with 232 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. And he's throwing to guys like Kendrick Bourne, Jacoby Myers, Nelson Aguilar, and Hunter Henry. None of those guys are top. I'm pretty sure any of those guys, other than Hunter Henry, probably are either wide receiver 3s or maybe 2.
Hunter Henry's a wide receiver 2.
Kendrick Bourne.
Hunter Henry's a tight end.
Kendrick Bourne might be 2.
But then you know what I mean.
You look at their running backs, and they have Damian Harris, who had 9 carries for 30 yards, and Ramondre Stevenson, who had 8 carries for 27 yards. They don't have any source of weapons that they can throw to, and Mac Jones is their best player on offense. And other than that, they really have nobody.
They just
that's what I said earlier, man. I said the Patriots. Now I should have clarified. I was talking about their offense. Their defense is good, but their offense doesn't have anything, man. Hunter Henry.
Their defense has. It's just their defense that's been winning them games.
Yeah, their defense is good. So
yeah,
but offensively they have nothing.
Yeah,
they have Hunter Henry, who is probably an above average tight end.
Yeah, he's good. He's a good tight end.
Okay, but receiver wise, they got wide receiver 3s playing at every position.
Who's the guy? 4th and 10, game on the line. Who are you throwing to? They don't have that guy. They don't have the Jamar Chase. They don't have the Devontae Adams. They used to have Julian Edelman
and Gronk.
Yeah,
they don't have anyone like that anymore.
Yeah, Edelman retired. Gronk's with the Bucks.
Yeah, they don't have.
And their best receiver is Kendrick Bourne.
He's a nobody. He's a nobody. Almost a nobody.
He was a wide receiver 3 for the Niners on the Super Bowl team, wasn't he?
Something like that.
I think so.
When they went to the Super Bowl against the Chiefs, I think he was a wide receiver 3 for that team.
Yeah. On a very run-heavy team.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous.
No, the Patriots, offensively, don't really have anything. And led by Mac Jones.
Mac Jones, who literally is just a knockoff Tom Brady in his first 2 years.
He's worse.
I know. He's a very bad knockoff Tom Brady. He is Walmart brand Tom Brady.
I was listening to a couple people talk. They're talking about Mac Jones, and they were saying that he's obviously coming into the draft, he had one of the highest floors, but one of the lowest ceilings. And they were arguing that maybe he's already getting close to hitting his ceiling. Because in this game, he couldn't do anything. Granted, he was going against a top pass defense, but it kind of just shows you the limitations of him. And it also, for me, it shows how great Brady is. Because Brady, before Mac Jones, before he left for the Bucks, he had these guys basically, and he take them to the playoffs and almost won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It does show Brady. Okay, but you really can't put Mac Jones in the same category.
Absolutely not.
Nobody can you really compare like Tom Brady to, because Tom Brady is in a league of his own.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if you can't really like say like, oh, Mac Jones isn't the guy yet, because you don't have anybody around him to have him even throw the ball to.
I think if the Patriots build around him and get him better skill players, I think
he could be a franchise quarterback.
Unfortunately, he'll probably be pretty good.
I don't think they're ever going to win a Super Bowl with Mac Jones unless they get like stud
unless
weapons.
Unless they are loaded.
Unless they
on
sign,
both
like,
sides of the ball around him.
Unless they
sign,
bring in
like,
the
Devontae
second
Adams.
coming of Randy Moss. So.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Mac Jones is really that great.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you look at him at Alabama, he had a great season his senior year at Alabama. But look
also,
at the team around him.
Exactly, Devontae. He had a Heisman-winning wide receiver.
That was one of the best college football teams.
Najee Harris. Nobody was even talking about him, and look at him in the NFL.
No, that was one of the best college football teams ever. I think that team
LSU.
And the
Burrow's LSU and Tim Tebow's Florida those are probably the best college
Those are
football
the
teams
three
ever.
best
Offensively, yes.
Offensively.
And defensively for Joe Burrow's team.
And Burrow's Tigers,
Yeah.
LSU defensively. They blew out everyone they played.
Yeah.
In the playoffs.
And they had a good defense too.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. But yeah, I think unfortunately I don't really like Mac Jones, but unfortunately I do think that if the Patriots build around him better, I think he will be able to be more successful.
He will be a
I don't think they're going to be a Super Bowl team.
He will be a franchise quarterback, but not a good one.
Yeah, I think he'll be a mediocre franchise quarterback. You know, like some of those, like Kirk Cousins with the Vikings, maybe, or something like that. I think he'll be mediocre.
Yeah.
I think he'll get the job done, but he won't be really anything special.
And he won't do it pretty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I don't think he's going to be really anything special, but I think he'll get the job done. I don't think they're going to win a Super Bowl with him, though. Like you said, I think that just shows Brady's greatness, too. Mm-hmm. I mean, because Brady with Belichick is, that 20-year dynasty. Brady without Belichick is still winning Super Bowls.
And Belichick hasn't done anything, really.
Gets blown out in the playoffs with his rookie quarterback. I mean,
I think Belichick has to win another Super Bowl without Brady for him to solidify himself as the greatest coach of all time.
I would say he probably already is the greatest head coach of all time.
I would probably argue he.
But I would say the debate for him, like Brady needing him and him needing Brady, I think that would be.
I think Belichick built Brady,
but Brady's.
But
winning.
Brady didn't totally. Brady obviously does not totally need him.
Belichick did build Brady to a sense, but
we could do a whole podcast on that debate.
Yeah. I think Brady with Belichick is what made that 20-year dynasty.
Yeah, true.
But I think Brady without Belichick is still going to be a very top 5 best quarterback ever.
Yeah.
I would say. I don't know if he would.
He wouldn't have been the GOAT, but he would have been a top 5 quarterback.
I don't know if he would have necessarily done what he has done without Belichick, but I think he would have been able to
had
do
as many Super Bowls.
I think he would have been able to win several still, just not quite at the level he is. But obviously, though, Brady's doing just fine without him.
Yeah, so, that's true. Bruce Arians.
That's a fair point.
I don't know. But I don't know if I would say he's the best coach of all time yet or not, because I think you have to look at coaches from the old days. You know,
like Paul Brown.
Paul Brown basically invented modern football.
I say Paul Brown is the greatest coach of all time unless Belichick wins a Super Bowl without Brady. If Belichick does that, he solidifies himself as the GOAT.
I could agree with that. I don't know if I would say Paul Brown is the best, though. I mean, Paul Brown invented modern football basically, but I mean, look at guys like who was the Niners coach with Jerry Rice?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I can't think of it. It was Bill something.
Bill Parcells.
No, it was Bill Walsh.
I
think it was Bill Walsh. He invented the West Coast offense, which is basically
what every NFL team uses.
Exactly. So I mean, like he isn't he is an offensive genius. I mean, he invented an offense. Like this guy is like a football genius.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, so some of these guys are, Bill Belichick didn't necessarily invent an offense.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say he's a football genius. He's very good at game plan and strategy and stuff, but, I mean, he didn't invent football or invent an offense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So
I think he's the most...
I think the GOAT coach is another podcast for another time.
I think it is, too. Belichick's the most accomplished one, I will say.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
You can't argue that.
I was looking at the stats. The Bills game got so out of hand that they took Josh Allen out and put Mitch Trubisky in.
They put Mitchell Trubisky into the football game.
Yeah,
It could have got even worse.
I know. And
What if Mitchell Trubisky went off?
that would have been bad. He had 3 rushes for -2 yards, so he didn't do anything. But I was
Put Mitch Trubisky in. You know something's going wrong.
Hey, Bears had him starting.
Yeah.
That's because Matt Nagy's like one of the worst coaches ever.
Yes.
But Dawson Knox had a heck of a game. He had 5 receptions for 89 yards and 2 touchdowns. And he had that one
As a tight end.
amazing catch where basically Allen just kind of threw it up as like a dead ball, and he laid out and caught it, and toe tapping the back of the end zone.
Josh Allen even said at the end of the game that he was just trying to throw it away.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, I was just trying to throw it away. Everyone started cheering, and I had no clue what
Yeah,
happened.
that was an
It
incredible
was
catch.
an insane catch.
It's almost like that meme, like F it, Tyreek Hill is out there.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
F it, like
Dawson
Knox is out there somewhere.
Yeah. But no, I'm
Or
still
Burrow and Chase.
Yeah, Burrow and Chase.
Everybody's heard that meme.
I'm still mad at Dawson Knox because he lost me my fantasy championship.
Same, man. Same. I lost by like 50.
Yeah.
I traded all my good players for food, so got a steak out of
to
you.
me.
Yeah. To you for steaks.
So that was all of the games that happened on Saturday, and the first game on Sunday was the Eagles-Bucks, which I feel like it was kind of like the Bills-Patriots game, but not to the extent. Basically, the Bucks won 31-15, and watching that game, I felt very embarrassed for the Eagles, because on offense at least, they could not do anything.
Jalen Hurts looked terrible.
They didn't score until the fourth quarter when basically the Bucks just stopped trying.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts
when they put in their like practice squad players.
Jalen Hurts was 23 for 43 with 258 yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 interceptions.
He threw more interceptions than he did touchdowns.
Yeah, he just couldn't do anything. They couldn't get the running game going. Boston Scott, 1 carry, 34 yards. Sanders, 7 for 16. Gainwell, 1 for 6.
They couldn't get anything
They just
going.
couldn't. Offensively, they could not do a single thing. And I think that just shows, because I feel like we haven't seen the Bucks defense be as good as they were last year, but this game they were definitely as good as they were last year. Like that defense, if they play like that, they are scary.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because Jalen Hurts, he's not a good passer, but he can make plays, and he had a good season, and they shut him down.
Oh, yeah.
And the Eagles just couldn't do a single thing.
Yeah.
And there was one which I thought was, which was funny, was they punted the Bucks punted the ball, and Jalen Reagor was the punt returner, and he coughed up the football, and then the Bucks recovered it, and then the very next play they throw a ball to Mike Evans. He sheds 2 tackles and scores. That's kind of just how the game was going for the Eagles.
That describes the whole game.
Yeah. So and then like Brady he was 29 for 37, 271, and 2 touchdowns. He was phenomenal, and they didn't. But what's crazy is they didn't have Chris Godwin. They didn't have Leonard Fournette. Mike Evans was their only guy, and Gronk. They had and also Tristan Wirfs got hurt, and then one of their guards got hurt. So they were down at least 4 key guys, and they blew them out. It looked like they were just playing a practice squad.
I think the Bucks are going to be hurting down the stretch, though.
If they don't get those guys back, obviously, yeah.
I don't think they are going to be able to do that
they were playing
to any other team in the playoffs.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, the Eagles,
The Eagles barely should have been.
I mean,
they're a playoff team, but are they really a playoff
I
team?
don't
You know what I
think
mean?
They were 9-9.
they're literally 500.
They're a 500 team.
I think they got a lot better, and they're heading in the right direction. They're improving and stuff, but they just weren't.
But they're also in
ready.
a terrible
Yeah.
football
I mean,
division.
look at the.
Look at the teams in their division. It's the Washington football team. They don't even have a name.
Yet.
And then the Cowboys, who, as we saw, were extremely overrated because they were in a patty cake division. Yeah. And then who's the
Giants?
And then the New York Football Giants are in their division too. So really, they got those wins because they were in a patty cake division.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Eagles, like I said, I think they're trending in the right direction, but they are clearly not.
They're not there
ready
yet.
for that.
They might as well have put in Minshew to
Yeah,
get some offense going.
Playoff football is much different than regular season.
Yeah.
I mean, Brady in the playoffs, just the Eagles really stood no chance. I think everybody knew that, though. I mean,
Yeah, I didn't expect them to win, but I thought.
They
would
pretty much
play
got a
little bit
participation
better.
trophy for this season.
I don't think they stood any chance against the
Yeah.
Bucks. But I will say, the Bucs looked impressive and everything. They played a very good game, but I do not think that's going to be the case for them going forward. I think it's going to be a tougher road,
especially with all the injuries.
Exactly, the Eagles, and they're going to be playing actual playoff teams now.
Yeah,
I mean,
who are they playing next? Is it the winner of the?
Yeah, it's the winner of the Cardinals and Rams game.
Yeah,
those are two serious football teams.
Yeah, they're going to be playing like legit
two
football,
Super Bowl
like,
contenders.
They're going to be playing legit playoff teams now. Like the Eagles were not a legitimate playoff team. That was a basically bye.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's like
well,
the Eagles had
they got
almost
2 guys hurt.
Okay.
So.
Well,
Okay.
I mean, like,
But no,
it's
I know what you mean. I know what you
opponent-wise.
mean.
The injuries are going to hurt them. I think if they don't get the injuries back, that in addition to them playing actual like playoff teams now, it's going to be a tough road for them if they can,
Yeah, well, basically, what the defense of the Bucs did is they told Jalen Hurts, "We're going to force you to throw the ball. Like, we're not going to let you run the ball at all," and he just couldn't do it, which is concerning for a quarterback because that's your job is to throw the ball. And when you can't do that,
and when they're literally forcing you to do your job, and then when you're forced to do your job, you do a terrible job at it.
With that being said, like I like Jalen Hurts. I think he's a good quarterback. I think he's a good quarterback. But this
he could win somewhere, just not at the Eagles.
Yeah,
well, I think the Eagles are in the right direction.
Yeah,
I think they're starting to build better.
I think
Devontae Smith is good.
Yeah, this game showed one, it showed Jalen Hurts' limitations, and second, it showed that Jalen Hurts is not their franchise quarterback. And
he's not their franchise quarterback. He is a franchise quarterback, though.
You think so?
I think he could win somewhere. I think he could win at the Dolphins.
If he just he doesn't have the arm talent to be like a franchise quarterback.
He could thrive at a team that does like a lot of quarterback runs too.
Yeah,
Ravens.
Yeah. Like he could thrive as a Ravens quarterback. A team built almost like
that
the
offense.
Yeah, like a team built almost like the Ravens, he would thrive at.
Yeah,
but not as well as Lamar.
Well, people were calling him Baby Lamar for a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, but look how the Ravens do with Lamar, though.
Lamar's
the
Lamar's
offense
been
is
injured.
Cool. It's flashy,
But Lamar's a better passer than Jalen Hurts is.
Oh, he's a much better passer. But I'm just saying, the Ravens, they beat all these teams. They run the ball well. These quarterback runs with Lamar, it's fancy. He's fast. It's fun to watch him run. But they don't win in the playoffs.
No, they
I'm just saying, that offense is cool.
They're not winners.
It's a really cool offense, and for every other level, like in college, it's nasty. It's a nasty offense. It's a cool offense,
but it doesn't win games in the NFL.
Yes. I think to win games in the NFL, you have to have a franchise quarterback that can pass the football.
I mean, they didn't even make the playoffs this year.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Now, granted, Lamar was injured.
Lamar was not even playing well when he was healthy.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, Humphrey was doing a better job than him.
Yeah, Tyler Huntley had a good game against the Packers.
Huntley.
I'm just saying that I think Lamar Jackson is very good, and he's a flashy runner. But I think to win in the NFL, you have to be able to. I think
you have to be able to sit back in the pocket and throw a dime to somebody.
I think it's more important in the NFL to have more of a franchise quarterback I don't know,
like a pocket passer.
Yeah.
Like a Joe Burrow or a Justin Herbert is more important than a guy who can run the ball.
I think a guy that can extend plays is very important. Holmes extends plays, Burrow extends plays, Herbert extends plays, Rodgers extends plays.
But you're not calling a quarterback power to them.
Yeah, exactly. Like in the NFL, it's just dangerous. It's risky business doing that.
Yeah.
Because Lamar Jackson, you got your franchise quarterback, and you're running power, running all these quarterback design runs and stuff with him.
And he's getting injured doing it.
He's just taking. He just takes so many hits. I think over the long term, Lamar Jackson's not going to be their guy because of the offense they run.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool to have that guy, but I mean, even Michael Vick was probably the closest quarterback to being good at it. His career was cut short, sadly, because of the dogfighting.
Yeah.
But even I don't think his career would have
Michael
been
Vick
long
was
either.
a way more talented passer than Lamar, though.
Yeah, because he could sit back in the pocket and throw dimes to people. Whereas Lamar has to be good at running. You know what I mean?
I think Lamar's arm's gotten better. Year. But I just think that the way they run offense in Baltimore, I think that over the long run, I don't think Lamar Jackson can be that guy.
I still think Lamar's a running back. You will not be able to convince me otherwise.
I just think that over the long term,
I think he put that to bed because I think he can actually throw the ball a little bit.
I think he can, just not enough to be a franchise quarterback like that. You know,
I still think he's a franchise quarterback, but I think you have to put the right weapons around him.
I'll give you that.
He's impressive. Like
he
watching
is impressive.
him play,
I like Lamar. He's a stud. I don't know. All I'm saying is that I feel like,
but maybe like you said, maybe a little bit less quarterback designed runs and more just like
him scrambling a pocket. Plays broken down. He can bust off a 50-yard run.
Because if you look when his second year when he won the MVP, he didn't have many like quarterback designed runs.
The quarterback runs, they're fun and they're nasty. I will say. Yeah. I'm just saying that like for the sake of him in the long-term run,
you cannot keep calling those plays.
I think he just is going to get to the point where he takes so many hits and he gets so banged up, he's not going to be the same as he was or could have been.
Very fair point.
Yeah. Well, going back to the Eagles and Jalen Hurts, there were multiple times where he had guys like wide open and he just overthrew them or scrambled out of the pocket and couldn't find them. And I think something that is interesting is that the Eagles, they have 3 first-round picks this year. They have 15, 16, and 19. So they could fill a lot of holes.
You can't blow that. They can't blow that.
And I've heard some people say like package a couple of those to trade up to get.
Why would you trade up? You have 3 first-rounders.
No, well they want to get this safety from Notre Dame, Kyle Hamilton, who's really good. But I saw somebody say, like, maybe if, like, Matt Corral slides to, like, pick 15, did the Eagles think of picking that? I've seen them picking multiple receivers.
Can they trade Jalen Hurts then?
Would you trade Jalen Hurts in that situation?
I don't know. I haven't seen the Eagles play enough to really get much of an opinion on him. I know that he's not, like, insane.
He's not that guy.
I don't think you draft the quarterback this year. I think you give Jalen Hurts one more year, and then
you give him a little bit of time of redemption.
If he struggles, because he had a really good season this year.
Did.
And
I say you trade him, and then you could trade him and start Minshew.
Yeah,
because Minshew's proven that he can win as a starting quarterback.
I think you run with Jalen Hurts for another year.
I think you at least another year. If he struggles, then you can draft another quarterback, or you can get another one. But there's also the chance, like Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson, probably not Aaron Rodgers, but those 2 guys are going to be available.
If a guy like that comes,
are going to be available this year, and they have 3 first-round picks. So I'm sure some team might.
You could bundle all 3 of those 3 first-round picks to get Deshaun Watson.
Exactly. So if that goes, then you can
3 first-round picks for Deshaun Watson.
He's worth at least 2. When Deshaun plays, he's top 5 quarterback.
I don't know.
That's okay.
I don't know.
At least 2 of those and some money.
No one's going to trade for him until he
gets acquitted,
fixes his legal stuff.
Yeah,
that's why the Dolphins didn't trade for him.
That's a high price, man. I'm not giving up 2 first-round picks for that guy. I'm drafting a quarterback at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not giving
with
up
one
2
of those,
first-round picks.
and you're only using one of those first-round picks,
Exactly.
and then you can build up some other positions.
Exactly.
But you're also getting a guy who's proven he can win in the NFL.
I know. That's a lot. I mean,
you are taking
first-round picks.
I mean, you are taking a risk on a quarterback. Like Trey Lance was a bust of a quarterback, so you're taking a risk.
Can't say that yet.
I don't know about that. He hasn't played.
That's true.
He played a little bit.
He couldn't start over Jimmy Garoppolo.
When he did play, he played well.
Nobody expected him to start over Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah.
He'll start over Jimmy Garoppolo later.
Yeah, I mean, he's a rookie. You know?
But I do think, like what you were talking about, the Eagles they're taking steps in the right direction, and with these 3 first-round picks, if they pick well, that'll catapult them much more. And like we were talking about, they could package those to trade up, trade for a better quarterback, whatever they're going to do. But I think that their future is bright and that they're going to be good because they have an amazing line. They have Devontae Smith, stud pick. Dallas Goedert, top 5 tight end. They have Jalen Hurts, who's a good regular season quarterback, needs to fix a couple things.
We'll see about Jalen Hurts.
Exactly. They have Darius Slay, who is one of the best corners in the NFL.
Oh yeah, I forgot about him. Yeah.
They probably need to draft a bit more on the secondary. They still have Fletcher Cox.
I think they gotta get a running back, man. If they get a nasty running back, I mean,
they won't be drafting one this year because the best one's Kenneth Walker, and I wouldn't take him over Miles Sanders.
But I just think
there's not a good running back in this one. Maybe next year.
Yeah. No, I definitely think they do need. I don't think Miles Sanders is the guy.
You could trade those picks for a running back.
Yeah, They can do. They have so many options that they can.
They have a wide range of opportunities.
They do have a wide range of options. I'm just saying, like, I don't know. If it's me, I'm really hesitant to give up 2 of my first-round picks. I mean, if I
still do have a first-round pick, though.
I know, but I'm
Well,
just saying,
no. The only reason they would be giving up 2 is because they have 15, 16, 19. If they have like 6, 9,
They don't
10,
have a top 10
then
pick.
I would
They
say
don't have
no.
a top 10
but they
pick.
have.
They have 2. They have 3 mid.
If there's a guy that they love, like Kyle Hamilton, who's who's the best safety in this draft and will probably be one of the highest safeties ever drafted. If they trade like 17 or 15 and 16 to trade up for him, I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't fault them for that.
Yeah.
Just get the guy you want now and just hope that it works out.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I just think, like, at any point in the first round, I mean, obviously the top 5 or top 10 are, like, the most, like,
You can't trade
biggest
those
names,
picks.
like, superstars
You
and
really
stuff,
can't
but,
trade
like,
those picks.
Any pick in the first round is an insane player. I mean, even if the guy that goes 32nd, it's like, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, like, so a lot of times guys are busts and stuff, but that, I mean, you just got to do your research and stuff on that. But like,
Yeah.
I feel like if you're a first round draft pick, you're like supposed to be an instant impact day 1 starter. And if I have 3 of those, if I do my research right, you can turn around your franchise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you hit on all of those, yes, you're turning around your
that's what I'm
franchise.
saying.
Do they have a second-round pick normal?
Yeah, they have. I think they have a couple second-round picks.
So they have a couple second-round picks.
I think they have like maybe.
Dude, if they draft well, they should be insane next year.
Well,
They
all
sh-
rookies,
they should
though?
get- I mean, Jamar Chase is a
Next
rookie.
5 years. Okay, but next
The next
5
couple
years.
years, I will
Next
say.
5. Next 5 years, they should be insane.
If they hit on their draft picks the next couple of years, they should be a good team.
Yes. Well, that's true about every team. If
But way more true for the Eagles. They have
true
3
because they have 3
first-round
first-rounders.
picks.
Yeah, you're right.
They only have 1 second-rounder. My bad.
1 second-rounder.
Yeah, but so I'm looking at a mock draft right now. They have them drafting a linebacker with their.
They just gotta fix that defense.
They have them getting an edge rusher,
Yeah.
a linebacker, wide receiver. Those are their 3 firsts.
Yeah, I
They
can
have
see
them getting
that.
an offensive tackle in the 2nd round, a Sam linebacker in the 3rd round.
Because their defense is their biggest issue.
I like that draft.
They have them getting
far.
a corner in the 4th round,
Yeah.
running back in the 5th round,
Okay.
punter in the 5th round. But it's the insane punter.
Ah, yes.
Oh, that guy.
guy.
Tight end in the 5th round. They have 3 5th-round picks, which is interesting.
You can.
How many picks do they have?
You might as well trade those 5th rounders
Yeah.
to see if you can get us 4th or 3rd.
Trade all 3 for another first rounder.
Nobody would take
They
it.
have 4
No,
first
nobody
round
would
picks.
ever take like 3 5th-round picks. Because what 3 guys in the 5th
They don't
round
have
do you
it- they
think
don't
is
have a
just as
7th
good?
Hey, I will say the 4th through the 7th round is where you build the bulk of your team.
Yeah, they don't have a 7th
That
round
is
pick.
true.
Yeah, it is true.
That is true.
Their last pick is the 6th round. They
Dak
don't
Prescott
have
was a
7th
4th round pick.
Yeah, that's true.
Just
But
saying.
this guy's mock draft is really good. I like it.
Brady was a 6th.
They have them getting Kobe Bryant, the corner from Cincinnati.
Kobe Bryant.
I like him, but I want him to go to the Bengals.
Yeah.
That's why I like him. But no,
Over Eli Apple or Awuzie?
Over Eli Apple.
Over
Eli
Eli
Apple is
That's
fine.
not even
Maybe-
the question.
Awuzie is solid.
Awuzie's good.
The Bengals just need to pick a lot of corners
Yeah.
and linemen.
We just need to. It's our secondary and our line.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the Bengals secondary and their line.
Yeah. But yeah, the Eagles can go really anywhere with their franchise. Speaking of the Eagles, one of their best friends, the Dallas Cowboys, had an embarrassing loss to the 49ers, 23-17.
I knew that was going to happen.
Clock management.
I said that
Okay,
was going to happen.
They're the most.
I was high on the Cowboys because they basically had just came off of 2 blowout games. Dak Prescott was really impressive. I thought they would at least make it past the first round.
I mean, I don't know. I didn't see the game, but I just
I didn't think the 49ers
I have
were-
no faith in the Dallas Cowboys organization.
I just
at
thought
all.
that the 49ers have been hot recently, and it's the Cowboys.
Well, you saw what they did against the Rams.
The Niners?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, that was they played an amazing
I
game.
know, that's why
Coming
I'm
off of
saying-
that, I'm like, ooh, the Cowboys better be worried. You know what I
I
mean?
know, that's why I'm saying the Niners have been hot, and it's the Cowboys.
Yeah.
So I thought
the Cowboys
I
are
thought the
historically
Niners-
bad in the playoffs. And they're also the most penalized team in the NFL.
I picked the Niners to win. I didn't see
Yeah.
the game, so I don't really.
Yeah, I didn't watch it either.
But
I watched a little bit of
I
it.
picked Niners to win.
Did you see the? Did you see them at the end of the game? How disorganized they were.
No, I
'Cause,
didn't see that.
So basically, they were driving down the field. There was like 16 seconds left. They run a draw up the middle. He gets like another 20 yards. He's on like the 20-yard line ish.
They didn't have any timeouts.
They didn't have any timeouts, so they line up to spike it. But the lineman sets it himself, doesn't hand it to the ref for him to set it. So the ref runs into Dak trying to get there, and then the center has to set it. And then as soon as they spike it, the time ran out.
Yeah, so it's just a very disappointing end.
Because they weren't organized enough to see, okay, when you're down in a 2-minute drill, you're not handing it to your center. You're trained to hand it to the ref, which they did not do. They didn't look like they practiced the 2-minute drill at all.
Downfield. The ref was far downfield. But with the Eagles, not the Eagles, the Cowboys obviously being disappointing, do you think that it's the right move to fire Mike McCarthy? Or do you think you stick with him for a little bit longer?
I'd give him a little longer. He won a Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers and the Packers.
That was a while ago, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the Cowboys had a really good year.
But here's the bad thing. I'm 90% sure that either both or one of their defensive and offensive coordinators are not going to be on that team next year.
Their offensive coordinator, I think, is going to become a head coach.
They're both going to be, because Dan Quinn's their defense coordinator, and then Kellen Mond's their offensive coordinator. I think realistically, both of them could be head coaches next year. And
they're both going to leave,
and then they're kind of screwed.
They are screwed. Mike McCarthy is not a good.
Fire him then?
Do I fire Mike McCarthy?
Mike McCarthy is not a good head football coach.
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, if they do, I wouldn't be like,
I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't fire him yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if Jerry Jones does it just because he's mad about the game.
Yeah, I would probably leave him.
I would leave him, but Jerry Jones probably
Jim
won't.
Harbaugh.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
I could see the Raiders doing that. I could very well see the Raiders.
He's either going to go to the Raiders or the Bears.
Hopefully Michigan signs somebody terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But one of the big reasons why Dallas ended up losing was Deebo Samuel.
Yeah,
that's all. That's all there is.
Deebo Samuel is going to cook everybody he plays against.
He rushed for 72 yards and a touchdown and caught 38 yards.
I mean, he's a receiver who you can put in the backfield as a running back. You know what I mean? He has that much talent.
That he is a stud.
Yeah.
He's the guy who, if I was a kid, I would want to grow up to be.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he is the guy.
He is just a ridiculous athlete.
Yeah. They didn't even utilize George Kittle at all. He only had one reception for 18 yards. But
they didn't need to.
Elijah Mitchell had 27 carries for 96 yards and a touchdown.
Jeez.
And then Garoppolo didn't even throw a touchdown. So I don't. Looking at the stats, I don't even know how the Cowboys lost. Well, okay, here's why. Zeke had 12 carries for 31 yards, and then it came out after the game that he was playing on a torn PCL, I think. And then Dak had.
I think Zeke is the most disappointing running back in the NFL. He is also the most overpaid. For what he's done,
Saquon's also one of the most disappointing.
But I would agree with you.
He is the most overpaid for the least amount of work. I think they should have traded him mid-season and just ran with Pollard.
Yeah, Pollard's good.
Pollard is a very good running back.
Yeah,
and they pay him a lot less, and that would open up a lot of salary cap for them to build off of.
That's true.
Yeah, I think they need to get rid of
Zeke. I don't think that's a horrible idea. Yeah. I mean, C.D. Lamb did nothing. He had one reception for 21 yards. Amari Cooper scored a touchdown. Dalton Schultz had a good game. Cedric Wilson did okay. Cedric Wilson did drop. There was one. It was at the end of the game. Dak scrambled right. He had two dudes on him and threw a bomb to him, and he laid out for it and hit off his fingertips. And
I saw that.
If he would have caught that, they might have been able to score.
I feel like he's pretty good though.
Cedric Wilson is really good. He's a beast.
He's very underrated.
Yeah, he is. I mean, Tony Pollard didn't do anything this game. He had 4 rushes for 14 yards. So
these stats just sound terrible.
I mean,
nobody sounds like they did good on either team.
Yeah, both teams couldn't do anything. Really.
Just sounds like an ugly game.
It just sounds like
besides Deebo Samuel.
It's just which team. Both teams
and
sound like they're making
Niners back.
Yeah, it sounds like both teams were making an aggressive amount of mistakes. and then it was just which one is going to make a few less of them.
Yeah.
Robbie Gould, the kicker for the Niners, he kicked 3 field goals.
Well, that's why they won, pretty much.
I guess.
So, yeah, I think that was just I didn't watch it, but I don't think it was a game that...
Who will they play next? The 49ers.
The 49ers, they will play...
Is it the Packers?
The Packers.
Yeah, the Packers.
That's going to be a tough one.
Packers are going to cook them.
I think the Packers are going to go to the Super Bowl.
Packers Bills.
Maybe.
That would be cool.
There's a good chance.
I could see Packers Bills.
I want the Bills.
There's a good chance of that.
I'm a Bills fan.
Yeah.
Let me just double check. Yeah, 49ers at Packers on Saturday.
Yep.
Yeah, that'll be a solid game. Maybe. I don't know.
That would
could
be.
run away with it. I don't know.
I could very well see the Packers running away with it.
I could too, but I could also see it maybe being a good game though. I don't know.
I think the Packers defense is just gonna completely shut down the Niners, and then
Will they have an answer for George?
They played in week 3,
And Deebo Samuel.
and the
Jordan,
Packers
those
won
are two
30 to
guys.
28.
Packers won 30-28. Yeah.
they'll shut. Okay, I'll put it this way: they'll shut down Garoppolo.
Yeah,
They'll shut down Garoppolo.
It's too hard to shut down
not that
Garoppolo.
difficult,
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying they're going to completely shut him down, so they're going to figure out some cool and interesting ways to get Debo involved in the offense, like lining him back in the backfield to run the ball.
Which would be cool.
This would be cool, which is going to be very fun to see, but I don't think it's going to produce a whole lot of offense.
I think the Packers will win that game.
Packers won't win that game. It's just by how much.
Yeah, I think the NFC Championship could be the Packers Bucks. That would be a good game. I think
That'd be a fun game.
that would be a fun game. Two of the best quarterbacks ever played in that game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The next and final game of this weekend was the Steelers and Chiefs, and the Chiefs ended up winning 42-21, and it was Big Ben's last game probably. And I didn't really watch the game. I know you did.
I watched it.
So you can probably
wasn't
speak
really
of it
that
more than
fun
I
of a
can.
game. I mean, the Chiefs just destroyed them.
I mean, it was okay. It was a little fun. Is it? I thought like the game was gonna end up being like that. The Rams Patriots Super Bowl, where it was just a defensive battle the whole time. That's what it looked like in the first quarter. That's what's going to happen. But it's just
the Chiefs really just started to run away with it. I mean, I was happy to see that. But,
Yeah.
I mean, there wasn't really too much interesting in that game. I mean,
not a whole lot.
what we expected to happen happened.
The Chiefs played like the Chiefs.
Travis
the
Kelce
Steelers
threw for a
played like the
touchdown.
Steelers.
Yeah, Travis Kelce threw a touchdown.
Yeah, Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did Travis?
They lined him up at
How many
Wildcat, and it was it was an RPO. They ran an RPO with him.
Yeah, they ran an RPO with Travis Kelce.
Well, it looked like it
and then
was.
they threw a touchdown to their tackle.
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes threw a touchdown to the tackle. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was 30 for 39 with 404 yards and 5 touchdowns.
And all that RPO, Patrick Mahomes was wide open for George Kittle. Not George Kittle. Kelce to throw to him.
That would have been hilarious.
Pass
That
from
would have been
Kelce
awesome.
to Patrick Mahomes
That
in the
would have been
playoffs.
freaking awesome. Yeah, it was. I mean, it was a fun game just because I enjoy the Chiefs and I enjoy watching them, and I always enjoy when the Steelers lose. But I mean, there wasn't too much special besides those couple plays.
I enjoy
Yeah.
watching the Chiefs' creativity with play calling.
Yeah.
Just the crazy
Yeah,
stuff
Eric
they run.
Eric
and it
Bieniemy
works.
is a
Eric Bieniemy.
He is
Eric
a
Bieniemy.
mastermind. He is good.
He very well could be a head coach.
Oh
next year.
yeah, he is good. But we thought that for the past couple of years.
we've
He
hoped.
stayed. I hope he stays.
He probably will stay, sadly, but
One of the guys that I'm surprised had a really good game was Jerick McKinnon. He had 6 receptions for 81 yards and a touchdown, and then he ran for 61 yards.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
he did.
Number one,
Did Darrell Williams get hurt?
Darrell Williams.
Because I thought I heard something like their
Edwards-Helaire's
their
out.
running backs didn't.
Edwards-Helaire, and then I'm pretty sure Darrell Williams is either
Well, that
injured
guy's
or
pretty good
he
though.
was
That Jerick McKinnon, he had a good game. You know.
Yeah, he did have.
I think he's a versatile back, man.
Very versatile.
Yeah, I mean, he showed this
He's
game.
very good in the
obviously.
passing game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Pringle had 2 touchdowns.
Pringle was taking over the role of Tyreek Hill recently. What the heck's been up
Pringle's
with that?
good.
I know he's good, but like, what has been going on with Tyreek Hill?
Everyone's
He
been
had
shutting down
57
Hill.
for a touchdown. Tyreek Hill did.
Okay, I guess. But he just hasn't been.
I mean,
No,
He's been
he
the
hasn't been
headline
as well.
guy.
He hasn't been as good as he has been in the
Trayvon
past.
Pringle.
like, what's going on
Pringle
here?
has been their guy
Pringle
lately.
has been of the receiving core. Pringle has been their headline receiver.
He's
Travis Kelce's obviously been their guy, but
I mean,
of
but
the
he's
receivers,
basically the wide receiver 1 at this point, but he doesn't have the talent of Tyreek Hill at all.
Well, but Tyreek Hill, I feel like I don't know, man. That his wide receiver 1 role was like almost getting challenged.
Yeah.
By Pringle.
I mean, and Pringle isn't yeah, what an amazing
I mean, he's
name.
good. I'm just saying, what, Tyreek Hill, man, you got it. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I miss seeing Tyreek Hill shred it.
The Chiefs' defense has been stepping up a lot lately, though.
Yeah,
The Chiefs' defense has been very good. Like their defensive coordinator has done an amazing job. Guys like L'Jarius Sneed.
Yeah. I think Chiefs Bills. Is that Sunday or Saturday?
Yeah.
Either way, whenever that game is, that's going to be
That's
heck of a game.
On Sunday,
Okay, what time?
6:30.
Okay, yeah, that's going to be a heck of a game.
Yeah.
Chiefs Bills. It's going to be a great game.
Chiefs Bills is going to be awesome.
So because the Chiefs,
It's going to be an offensive showdown.
That's going to be
but also both teams' defenses are also very scary good.
I feel like the winner of that game is going to easily go to the Super Bowl. Like I feel like that game is basically the AFC Championship.
Yeah,
like the
pretty
Bengals
much.
Titans. Like
I couldn't see.
Titans-
I can't see either of them beating a team that can beat the
I think like
neither of those teams I think can beat the Chiefs or the Titans.
I think the Bengals have a shot against the Titans. So if they beat the Titans, they go to the conference championship. But I think the winner of that Chiefs Bills game, I don't think the Bengals.
Yeah.
I mean, I think winner of Chiefs and Bills is the one going to the Super Bowl. I mean, we'll see. I guess I could be wrong, but I'm just saying that it seems that way right now. But maybe we'll see. I guess.
Yeah. So with the Chiefs winning, that marks an end probably to Ben Roethlisberger's career.
Yep.
And now the Steelers organization is kind of in scramble mode to find their next quarterback.
Wonderful.
So
Yes.
now, I've heard that Mike Tomlin actually came out the other day and said that he was very high on Dwayne Haskins, so they might start him. They also, I think, they're also looking to draft somebody.
They should draft
As long as
somebody.
it's not Mason Rudolph. That guy is terrible.
No, I don't think Mason Rudolph is ever going to touch the field
I
again.
can't stand that guy.
I think Dwayne Haskins could be a guy, but they need to draft a guy just in case he isn't the guy.
I don't think Dwayne Haskins is going to be the guy.
He could be the guy.
They have got to draft.
He has the talent
I
to
hope
be the
they
guy.
don't.
He has the talent to be the guy.
You think so?
I think he could be.
I mean, given a shot, maybe he'll be a bridge quarterback. Like if he
He will
can
not take over that franchise. They got to draft somebody.
he'll be like a quarterback where they just run. They don't see any quarterbacks that they really love in the draft. They start him.
He could play 2 or 3 years.
He does okay. They are like one of the worst teams in the NFL. Then they select Bryce Young or C.J. Stroud, and then
Hopefully not.
not Stroud because they have a bad track record of drafting Ohio State quarterbacks. Yeah. But I mean, I've seen them get anywhere between Kenny Pickett, Sam Howell, and I've heard Carson Strong a little bit. So they have options.
Yeah.
And they have decent weapons. Najee Harris is good.
Najee Harris is good.
Deontay Johnson had a good season. Juju Smith, he came back this game. Chase Claypool.
I think those are both overrated players.
They're both overrated players, but they're both
Pat
playmakers.
Freiermuth, he's good.
Freiermuth, he's the most overlooked tight end in the league.
Freiermuth and Najee Harris are both very good.
Freiermuth is the most.
Deontay Johnson's pretty good too. Yeah.
He's the most overrated. Underrated tight end in the NFL.
T.J. Watt on the defensive end is obviously a monster too.
Yeah, defense player of the
his
year.
stupid score. Did you see that?
Oh yeah,
That was his first
stupid
career
score
touchdown.
was pretty ridiculous.
T.J. Watt's a monster.
Yeah, their defense is
scary.
good.
The Steelers' defense, they just need to keep the same. They just need to fix their offense.
They just got to get a quarterback.
They
They
have
also need
weapons.
an offensive line.
Yes.
their
Okay,
line's
because
bad.
Big Ben had no time to throw the football, so they need to fix their offensive line and quarterback, and they could be a good team even next year.
I don't want them to be good.
I think they'll be the worst team in the AFC North.
Probably, yeah.
Them and the Browns.
Well, I said that this year too.
Steelers were
Yeah, they could have been the worst team.
they could have been.
Yeah.
They
They very well.
They
could have
shouldn't
been.
even been
I
in
mean,
the playoffs
they
to
shouldn't have
begin
been in the
with.
they tied the Lions.
Yeah, they should not have been in
The
the playoffs.
Detroit Lions.
Yeah. No, the Steelers should not have been in the playoffs. I think the Steelers are about like the Eagles. Only the Eagles are like
The Eagles deserved it more than the Steelers
they
did.
did. The Eagles deserved it more than the Steelers, and the Eagles are like heading in the right direction, like franchise wise. The Steelers, I don't know where they are. They're
Yeah.
terrible.
They're-
Steelers aren't used to being bad, and so now that they are bad, they're like, "What's going on?"
Yeah, no, they definitely did not.
They're probably questioning if they fire Tomlin or not.
I think they'll probably keep Tomlin.
They'll keep Tomlin just because Tomlin has
He's never had a losing
He's never
season.
had a losing season.
Of all,
That's ridiculous.
He's a good head coach.
of all the teams in the playoffs, though, they were the worst.
Yes.
They
Yeah.
did not deserve to be in the playoffs. I'm sorry.
The Ravens deserve to be in over them.
That would have been more fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
I would have rather seen the Chargers, but
The Chargers,
The Chargers should have made it for sure.
They called a timeout.
The Chargers
They called that timeout.
Well, I mean, I know the Chargers blew it themselves, but they should have been in over the Steelers. That's not even a question.
No,
Yes.
obviously.
The Chargers should have been in the playoffs. The Steelers not in the playoffs.
The only reason the Steelers were in the playoffs was because they tied the worst team in the NFL.
Yeah. No, the Chargers are fun to watch. They are a very good team.
Oh, yeah.
Herbert, Allen. I love Austin Eckler. Austin Eckler is a stud.
He's a bald beast.
I love
He's a
Austin
great-
Eckler,
he's a
dude.
great
He is
running back.
awesome. He is awesome.
Then they have Mike Williams. Came
Mike
on
Williams
this
is
year.
good too. Yeah,
Mike Williams.
Derwin
the
James
Chargers.
and
The
Joey
Chargers
Bosa.
are fun to watch, man. The Chargers are a good.
They're an
football
electric
team.
football team.
They are an electric team. They
Bosa.
by far deserve playoffs more than the Steelers. The Steelers, that's ridiculous.
I mean, who do they have on the offensive side? Literally almost nobody.
The Steelers.
Yeah.
Harris.
I mean, Harris, like, he's the only guy I would be nervous
I mean,
to game plan around.
Deontay Johnson, I feel like is pretty solid. I think he'd be a wide receiver too, on most
Deontay-
on a good team.
If he could catch a darn football.
He only had a couple drops this year.
He dropped a bunch in the Chiefs game, but he fixed that for the most part this season.
Yeah, no, he is highly improved. I think Deontay Johnson's pretty good.
Yeah.
He is. He's Kim.
I mean, he's their best receiver for sure. I mean,
This year, yeah.
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 No, I think the Chargers deserved it way more than the Steelers.
Yeah.
They definitely did.
As much as I'm get annoyed about the Herbert Burrow debates, I will say that the Chargers deserved it at least more than the Steelers.
Yeah.
All right, before we end, I'm just gonna go through each of the games, and I'm just gonna ask you who you think's going to win that game, and if you want to, you can give like a brief reason why.
Okay.
So the first game we'll start with is the Titans and Bengals. We'll start with you. Who's winning that game?
Who's winning that game? I honestly think the Bengals have a shot. I think if the Bengals play their game and they play like they did at the end, the last stretch of the season, I really think the Bengals can win that game. So I'll pick the Bengals.
All right,
We'll
Bengals.
see. That's my
I picked the Bengals. The Bengals are going to be in the AFC Championship because of Jamar Chase. I do not think that
Joe Burrow.
I don't
Joe
think
Burrow.
Joe Burrow, but I don't think that the Titans are equipped at all to guard Jamar Chase. That's the reason I'm taking them. But also, I don't know if the Bengals defense is ready to guard Derrick Henry if he's back.
He will be
back.
I think it's going to be a really tough game. It might be a shootout.
It's going to be a shootout.
It's going to be a tough.
It's either going to be a shootout or nobody's going to score.
Yeah.
It's either going to be like a 7-3 game or
Yeah.
like a 27-30.
30.
Yeah, 30 something.
Or like
a
Bengals
game.
Chiefs game was.
Yeah.
I think the Bengals like legitimately do stand a chance though, honestly. I think with Joe Burrow, I think the Bengals honestly I don't think the Bengals are out of any game. I think with Joe Burrow, I think they can beat anybody.
Yeah.
If they play their game, I think they can beat anybody. So
Bengals. I'm going the Titans. I think
that's probably what most people are going to go with.
I think so.
Most realistic.
Julio Jones is back, and so is Derrick Henry. AJ Brown, they still have AJ Brown, so they have two good receivers, and then Derrick Henry is obviously a stud. I don't think he's going to be what he was before he got injured, and Ryan Tannehill can get the job done, and then I think Jamar Chase is going to have a huge game, but I just think the offense, the Titans' offense, I think is going to be better than the Bengals' defense, and the Titans' defense will hold the Bengals more than
We'll limit them.
Yes.
We'll limit them. From
They'll
just
hold
going
them.
crazy.
It'll be a heck of a game. It'll be.
They'll hold them enough.
I think
It's
it'll
going
be
to be
close.
it's
but
going to
they'll-
be
yeah.
it's
They'll
going to
hold
be
them enough
it's
to
gonna
where
be
the Bengals won't come out.
it's going to be the game to watch next week.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think your pick is probably the most reasonable and realistic pick, but I don't know, man.
It'll be a good
It's
game.
just
I'm
like
excited.
I'm hoping for the Bengals, so I'm gonna.
The Bengals are the most
I'm gonna put my faith in
inconsistent.
them.
The Bengals are the most inconsistent team, though. So it's what.
They have been consistent recently. though.
Okay,
That's
but
why I'm
what?
saying
Okay,
they've
but
been
what
hot.
team? What team is going to show up? Is it going to be the team
Oh,
that
I know.
Is it going to be the team that lost to the Bears, and the Jets, or is it going to be the team that beat the Chiefs and the Ravens and dominated them? What team is going to show up?
Oh, I know. I agree. That's why I'm saying I think with Joe Burrow at quarterback, Joe Burrow's been there before. He has won a national championship. He's went 15-0. He's won the Heisman. He's played at this big stage. He knows what it takes. I think he's going to get him ready.
You can never count him out.
Exactly. I think Joe Burrow's going to get him ready. I think the Bengals are really high right now. I think they've been hot. They have already won. They just broke a 31-year playoff drought.
Yeah.
I think they're
riding high.
I think they're riding high. They're playing hot. I think with Joe Burrow's the guy. I think Joe Burrow, he's been there before. And so is Jamar Chase. Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase have both done this before. They have both been on this big stage before.
Yeah.
I think they have a legitimate chance.
What do you know what the point spread on that is?
I do not.
Okay.
It's probably too early.
Also,
Yeah, it's probably too early for that.
I think
yeah.
what helps the Titans, they've had a whole week, so Derrick Henry can get fully back into Julio Jones. So I think that helps them.
They
a
could.
lot.
It's definitely very
That also
reasonable
could be a very. That also could be a very bad thing for them because they could come off very cold.
They could.
That's happened to a lot of teams with the first round
Yeah,
bye. They
it
can
has.
come off very cold.
Yeah.
And the Bengals can come out hot.
Yeah.
But I think the Titans is a very reasonable pick, though. I'm just
Both teams are very reasonable picks.
Yeah.
I'd put money on either.
All right. The second game is the Chiefs and the Bills. Who do you have winning that one?
That's a tough one, man. I don't know. I'm gonna. What do you think?
We'll go back to them.
Yeah.
The Buffalo Bills are going to face the Bengals in the AFC Championship because of the Bills' defense. The Bills' defense, I think, can guard all the receivers that are on the Chiefs. And the Chiefs have... The only way the Chiefs are going to win the game is if they can establish the run and make them respect the run. That is the only way that the Chiefs are going to win this game against the Bills.
Yeah,
So,
I think
yeah.
that's reasonable. I will probably pick the. I don't know. That's tough, man. I don't know.
Do you want me to go?
What do you think?
Yeah.
Well, you're gonna pick Bills.
Well, yeah, I'm going with the Bills for most of the reasons that John said. They have the number one passing defense. They showed that they can dominate the run, and I think their offense from what they just absolutely obliterated a top 5 defense, and the Chiefs are nowhere close to a top 5 defense. So I think that their offense is going to overpower their defense, and I think they can slow down Tyreek Hill a little bit. Obviously, I feel Patrick Mahomes is going to get his because it's Patrick Mahomes, but I think Josh Allen and the Bills are going to do their thing and come up with the win and go to their second AFC Championship.
Yeah.
But that's going to be another one where it's like really close.
I think that's gonna be a great game.
It's a flip of a coin.
It really is a flip of the coin, honestly. I mean, I'll pick the Bills too. I mean, they're red hot. I mean, that performance against the Patriots is literally one for the ages.
If I wouldn't have seen,
they are red hot. So I'll pick the Bills.
if they hadn't just done that to the Patriots, I would have picked the Chiefs.
I would have picked the Chiefs too.
But that was such a big statement that there's no way I'm gonna put money against them.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's literally the only reason that I would pick them over the Chiefs is because of what they just did to the Patriots. If that would have been a closer game, I'd pick the Chiefs.
Yeah.
But that was an unbelievable performance. So I mean,
agree.
that coming off that, they are hot.
Yeah.
So I'll go with the Bills in a very close game.
Yes. Right.
3 to 7 points.
Yes. The next game is the Packers and Niners. Who's going to win that
Packers.
one? Anyway, just Packers.
Devontae Adams, Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
I think the Packers are going to win, but it's going to be a lot closer than people think.
I think it'll be a good game.
I think that the Niners defense is going to step up a lot more than we think they are. It's going to be an extremely close game. I think it's going to be a close game.
Well, who are you picking?
Yeah, I said I'm picking the Packers.
You said Packers.
I'm saying the Packers by like 3 to 7
Okay,
points.
yeah, that's fair.
Are going to win the game, but barely.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Packers as well. And I think, obviously, Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers are the best quarterback wide receiver duo. Also, Nick Bosa just got a concussion, so we don't know if he's going to be 100%. What's his name? One of their best linebackers,
Yeah,
Fred
Fred
Warner.
Warner.
No, Pete Warner's the other guy. He played in Ohio State.
Warner.
Fred
Not
Warner.
Kurt Warner, Evan.
Yes. No, Fred Warner, he didn't play last week. I don't know if he's going to play this week.
That would hurt.
And if they are down those two guys, I think that they can't stop them. But I also don't think that the Packers have an answer for Deebo Samuel. I think Deebo Samuel is going to have a good game, but I just think that the Packers have so much talent that they'll just outplay them.
I agree. I think
They have too much talent on both sides of the ball.
Well, I think that for Nick Bosa, I mean, you can come back.
Yeah, I know, but we still don't know. Like,
I came back from week for a concussion in high school football, so much less the NFL.
I mean, we don't know.
Yeah.
I'm
expecting him to play, but there's always that
chance
that something.
He will play, but yeah.
I'm expecting him to play. All right. Well, this next game hasn't happened yet, but So who do you think's going to win the Rams and the Cardinals, and then we'll get to who's going to win that, and then the Bucs.
Yeah, I'm picking the Rams probably. Shoot, I don't really know. I'm just picking the Rams.
All right.
Cooper Kupp, Matthew Stafford. It's just too much for the Cardinals.
I'm picking the Cardinals because of Kyler Murray. I think he's a winner, and he is the hardest quarterback in the league to guard.
I think this game also is really kind of a flip of the coin.
Yeah.
I
really don't know why I'm picking either way. Honestly, I'm just kind of saying, all right, I'll pick the Rams.
Yeah. I'm gonna go.
You're just here any meeny money mowing.
Pretty much. I like the Rams more than I like the Cardinals.
Yeah.
So I'll probably just pick the Rams just because I like them more. But
I see the
whatever.
I mean, the Cardinals were also winning without Kyler Murray too. I mean, they have found some creative ways to win. So I think just because of that, they're going to beat the Cardinals.
I think that it kind of is. I think it's kind of like the same deal with the Bengals with the Rams. It's like which team's going to show up. I think that's what it is. Yeah, I think if the Rams if they come out and play their game and play to the best of their abilities, I think they're going to win because they are really really talented.
Yeah, both teams are extremely talented. Who won in their series so far? Who's won more games? So the Cardinals beat the Rams early in the season. I think it's week 4. The Cardinals beat them 37-20, and then also I think where is it? But then the Rams beat them 30-23 later in the season, with about midway through the season. So it's a flip of the coin.
Yeah.
Who's going to show up that week?
Yeah.
I'm going with the Rams because I believe that Matthew Stafford will put all of the haters to bed that he can't win big games. I feel like this game is going to be a good one for him and Cooper Kupp, and they're getting Cam Akers back, which is going to help.
Oh, I forgot about that.
And then on the Cardinals side, J.J. Watt's coming back, but DeAndre Hopkins isn't playing.
Oh.
So,
but they still got AJ Green on their offense.
Yeah, but you don't.
He's okay. He can still make plays, though.
No, he can.
He's still a playmaker.
But I just think
he's not what he used to be, but he's still a playmaker.
He's going up against Von Miller, Aaron Donald, and Jalen Ramsey. I just think it'll be a good game, but I think with the injuries playing a little bit, and
if James Conner gets the run game going, I think the Cardinals will win.
Yeah, but I'm going Rams.
I think it'll be a great game, but I'm going to go Rams as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one is kind of hard really to predict, but we'll just say if either team wins, who are you picking between the Bucs and either the Rams or Bucs and Eagles or Cardinals?
I think that'd be a good game too. Probably Bucs.
The Bucs.
Yeah.
I mean, that one's hard to predict because we don't know who.
Yeah, I don't know who they're playing yet. So
yeah, I would probably say the Bucs because
Tom Brady, man.
You never go against Tom Brady.
Actually,
you can't.
And B, their defense, they played phenomenal against the Eagles, and I think that will.
However,
carry
I
over.
will say though that I think it will not be
it won't be as easy.
No,
definitely not.
I think the Bucs will definitely have their hands full, and they'll barely get out of it.
I'll put it this way: I think that the Bucs will beat the Cardinals, but I don't see the Bucs beating the Rams. If the Rams can beat the Cardinals, I don't see the Bucs beating them.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
It just depends how the Rams play against the Cardinals, and then that'll sway if I think that they can beat them. Or not.
Yeah,
because
it really comes up to who plays better tonight.
It's hard.
Who has more momentum going into the game.
It's hard to pick that right now.
Yeah.
I just think you can't bet against Tom Brady. I think it's gonna be really tough. It's gonna be a tough game for him, but I still just think you can't bet against Brady.
Yeah.
Now I will say though, if the Bucs win and it's the Bucs Packers in the AFC champion or the NFC championship, I would probably pick the Packers.
Yeah,
if that's the case.
I would agree. All right, that's going to wrap it up for this episode. Thank you all for watching.
I hope you all enjoyed, and see you guys next time.